Okay, would everyone bow for prayer, please?
Dear Lord, we just ask that you look down upon this council and bring them the wisdom and the knowledge to make the best decisions for this town. We just ask that you bless our country and look down on those folks and all the worldwide issues that are going on. And Lord, we just know that you make different days for different people, and there's several in this room, and today is a Law Enforcement Appreciation Day, and so we just ask that you bless their families, that they go out and serve and keep us protected and come home to their families safe. As we just ask all these things in your name, Jesus Christ. Amen.
I will open the Centerville Town Council meeting for January 9th, 2024, 7 p.m. Will you call the roll, please?
David Kate.
Here.
Josh Tudor.
Here.
Jack Boddicker.
Here.
Gary Holbert.
Here.
Dan Wandersee.
Here. Okay, has everyone gone over the minutes for December 26, 2023, the work session? Are there any additions or corrections to those? If not, I would entertain a motion on accepting those minutes.
So made.
Motion by Gary, do I have a second?
Second.
I have a second by Josh. Will you call the roll, please?
David Kate.
Aye.
Josh Tudor.
Aye.
Jack Boddicker.
Aye.
Gary Holbert.
Aye.
Dan Wandersee.
Aye. Motion carried. Next item we have is the approval for the minutes for December 26, 2023 for the public hearing on the water system project. I would entertain, or is there any additions or corrections to those? If not, I would entertain a motion to accept those.
So moved.
I have a motion by Josh. Do I have a second?
A second.
I have a second by David. Will you call the roll, please?
David Kate.
Aye.
Josh Tudor.
Aye.
Jack Boddicker.
Aye.
Gary Holbert.
Aye.
Dan Wandersee.
Aye. Motion carried. Next item we have is the claims. Has everyone gone over the claims? Are there any corrections or questions? If not, I would entertain a motion to approve the claims.
Motion so made.
Got a motion by Jack. Do I have a second?
A second.
Have a second by David. Will you call the roll, please?
David Kate.
Aye.
Josh Tudor.
Aye.
Jack Boddicker.
Aye.
Gary Holbert.
Aye.
Dan Wandersee.
Aye. Motion carried. The approval for the billing adjustment, there was no adjustment. So I would entertain a motion to approve the billing adjustment.
So moved.
I have a motion by Josh. Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a second by Gary. Will you call the roll, please?
David Kate.
Aye.
Josh Tudor.
Aye.
Jack Boddicker.
Aye.
Gary Holbert.
Aye.
Dan Wandersee.
Aye. Motion carried. Need a motion to approve the allowance report.
So moved.
I have a motion by Gary. Do I have a second?
A second.
I have a second by David. Will you call the roll, please?
David Kate.
Aye.
Josh Tudor.
Aye.
Jack Boddicker.
Aye.
Gary Holbert.
Aye.
Dan Wandersee.
Aye. Motion carried. Under general, first thing, I'm going to make a new assignments for this year. And I've assigned to Gary water and fire. And I would assign that wastewater and stormwater for you, Josh, and electric for David, and streets for Jack. So that'd be the assignments, for this year. Okay, next item we have is Main Street.
Good evening, and you already have received an email with this paper, but I also have given you a print copy tonight. The Main Street organization would like to purchase new self-watering planters for 6 of, well, we have those already at Main and Morton. We'd like to add 5 more intersections for a total of 6 intersections with the self-watering planters. And if you remember 2 years ago when we first put them out, they're amazing. Self-watering planters, you put about 30 gallons of water in them and those flowers just take off. Water with fertilizer. The thing that's changed about it is they're a little bigger and we want to put them in a little bit different location, knowing that NDOT is very particular. I have gone to each intersection exactly measured, and I have given you a drawing of where each pot would sit, and then I will submit this to NDOT to get a permit from them if you're in agreement with it.
You might, Kevin, also talk about why we're doing that, so as we go through this process, that everybody's aware of them doing the intersection here at Main and
I
Morton.
emailed Main Street that they would be changing the traffic lights out, and it'll be best if you just remove all your planters from that corner.
I think they're gonna request it.
Well, they said the contractor would move them, but they wouldn't be responsible for damage. So I thought Main Street just might want to take them out of that intersection until the project's over. And they may have to relocate some of them depending upon where the new poles are actually set. I've already
I
made
want to
them
make you
aware.
aware that that's ready to happen.
And then I guess with you and then Ed, maybe make sure there's not any kind of visual issues or traffic hazard or
Yeah, we'll look at it.
And
just,
because the ones we're buying are shorter than the ones with
That's
concrete
there now.
ones. But they're gonna be so abundant in growth that the flowers, you get those canna lilies in there. Is that an issue?
Yeah, it could be.
So what do I need to do?
Shorter flowers.
Doesn't make the big.
dwarf plants.
You know, some of our intersections are hard to see to pull out anyway, especially when traffic's heavy.
Yeah.
Instead of making a left, a lot of people will go ahead and make a right turn and go down the way and turn around and come back.
Okay.
If that's blocking their view from somebody being able to pull out, then it's gonna not fly.
It may be that you have to move them, down a little bit.
Well,
rather than-
that's another thing, how far from the corner?
Yeah, the ones, that's something we'll have to work with NDOT on. But the ones that you've had out so far haven't really caused any concerns.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
So I guess my kind of point with that is I'm all right with it if those two are all right with it. That's just my point.
NDOT's probably gonna be the biggest to say, because it's their right of way, but.
and we've had pots for years.
Yeah, I know.
It's just that they're different pots. And, getting grant money, we didn't want to take a chance of spending somebody's grant money and then them just come in and say you can't. So it is tempting to not jump through their hoop though.
We didn't say that.
Yeah. So, I
Got any questions
Do you approve them tonight?
with
reactions?
Okay.
Any?
I'm good with it as long as it doesn't anger NDOT. And then you guys can go in compliance and it's not a traffic hazard. have no
I think
issues.
you could make a motion on that as long as you have NDOT's approval and police chiefs.
Yeah, I'll make that motion.
Okay. I have a motion by Josh. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
I have a second by David. Will you call the roll, please?
David Tate,
Aye.
Josh Tudor,
Aye.
Jack Bodeker,
Aye.
Gary Holbert,
Aye.
Dan Wondersen.
Aye. Motion carried.
Thank you, and then I gave you one other piece of paper, which doesn't need any action, it's just for your information. Our work plan for 2024 and the chairs of each project, which board members are responsible for each project. I might particularly mention Chloe Brown. I assume you all know her now, works at Kyle's office. She is gonna head up the CLIPS effort, and it's gonna be good. Chloe gets things done. So, any question, you always know how to get hold of us, right?
Yep.
Email me or Sherry or whoever. Thanks much.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Railroad?
Nothing at this time.
Police department?
Just a few things tonight. Everybody received my report except Gary? Okay, I've also give you a handout that I got from Wayne County Emergency Communications. It gives kind of a breakdown of all the calls that we've had over the years through their system. Some of those things that we do, you know, it's not logged, but if we get it, just driving through the neighborhood and somebody stops us, wants to talk, we don't always create a call, so it wouldn't be listed on there. I just wanted to say one thing, thanks to the community and a lot of the businesses that supported us for our holiday food drive this year. I think it was a very big success. Don't you, Dennis?
Yeah.
I mean, we served probably 114 at Christmas, we know, and I think it was probably maybe 120 at Thanksgiving. And I had people donating money and businesses donating money right up to the day we were serving Christmas and stuff. So we've got some funds to start out for next year. So that was a big thing, and I think that, you know, we're very lucky to live in the community and serve the citizens of this community that we do and get the support that we do. I just can't thank them enough. Next thing I want to talk about is we're back to our full strength now. We have one of our current graduates here with us tonight, Daniel Houston, and of course Mason Hill. And they've been back to work for a couple of weeks now. Then I'll be going in for surgery Thursday on an incident that happened back in May. So I'll be out for just a little bit, and I'll be doing office duty for a while on that. So we're still at full strength, but I'll be in there doing things. Also, I haven't got the information back to me yet, but we've been, you know, we had the hit and run at Americana Pizza. And we were able to solve that with, we had a lot of tips come in from the community, and we followed up on them, and unfortunately the tips that we got didn't turn out to be valid ones. They were very good tips, but it didn't work out. But we did check with our other law enforcement agencies in the surrounding communities and counties, including Connersville and the Connersville Detective Division. They have a system that I'm very interested in getting, and it was able to successfully pick up our suspect vehicle. All I had to do was provide a description down to like a 4-door pickup, black in color, make and model if I knew it, and they were able to enter that, and we were able to pick up our suspect, which turns out we're making where we got a request for a warrant in for that person for leaving the scene of the accident. So these cameras are invaluable that we have out here now, our surveillance cameras. They've paid off, as you all know, several times. They've been extremely useful in our current homicide trials that we had going on. We have another one coming up. The first one, as you know, we got a conviction on, and they were very successful in helping us put evidence and things together on that, as well as solving other crimes along Main Street and other parts of the community where we can kind of put things together. Just for instance, this last summer we had some guys that were stealing porch swings, of all things, off people's porches. And we had a surveillance camera from one of the residents, one of the victims, picked them up. They're on bicycles early in the morning hours. I went through and checked all of our surveillance cameras, and I was able to pick them up and get them ID'd right here at First and Main Street by our cameras. So they're very, very valuable to us. The system I'm looking at, Josh is very familiar with. I went to a meeting this last year because Richmond and Sheriff's Department, we were all kind of considering them. But the cost at the time I thought was a little bit out of our league, so to speak. But when you start looking at the man hours that we put into just this last investigation alone, would have paid for almost half of one of these cameras. So, the system I'm looking at, we have a 2-year contract is the way I understand it, correct me if I'm wrong here. Because the salesman hadn't called me back yet, everything's been kinda flowing here kinda quickly. But there's license plate readers, what they are. And, the system's gonna cost me probably about $5,300 for 2 years. You have to sign a 2-year contract. It's roughly $2,000 or $2,500 a year. And there's a setup fee for it. And what my proposal is, I'd like to get 2 of these cameras. And I'm going to hit up one of our other governmental agencies to see if I can get them to chip in and pick up one of them, if we can pick up one of them. So, just asking permission to go ahead and research and start getting involved in this.
Mr. President,
Yes.
that was the first discussion that a colleague here had with me this, when we sat down and we talked about all kinds of different scenarios. But the scenario that popped in my head was safety. And he put in some, silver alerts and other things, but my brain went to the worst case scenario. You're chasing down somebody that's really done something bad and they're gonna stop in your community. And this man tells me that you can be notified in a matter of minutes that this vehicle or these people are in your community. And so is $2,500, $5,500 worth of life? That's a near price. So, yeah, I was convinced automatically that this is something, and
It's not something that we'd like to advertise a whole lot, it's something that's a crime fighting tool that's very valuable to us. There's other agencies around in our general location, smaller than us, that actually have one. And it has paid off tremendously for them. It's not set inside the community neither. These are gonna be set,
he said they're all over
away
the
from here.
country.
Yeah, they are. And, we can enter information. If we get a hit on it, it immediately notifies us. Whoever's on duty, it immediately notifies. We had a leaving the scene of an accident just day before yesterday. And it could have been solved if we had these in place.
A known
So,
drunk
that's
driver,
Yeah, that's just leaving the scene of an accident. We're talking about stolen vehicles, wanted people, amber alerts, silver alerts. You can run the whole gamut of things here.
Amazing.
The technology is absolutely amazing.
I'll without a doubt make a motion to approve whatever that safety device is, because that's a safety device.
Okay, I got a motion by Jack. Do I have a
Second.
second? I have a second by David. Call the roll, please.
David Kate,
Aye.
Josh Tudor,
Aye.
Jack Bodeker,
Aye.
Gary Holbert,
Aye.
Dan Wondersen.
Aye. Motion carried.
Thank you. I'm gonna, like I said, I'm gonna be looking into it. I'm not gonna jump on it right away. I want to see if I can get another entity on board, because I'd like to have at least 2. So if we can only get the one, I appreciate your support, and we'll be doing that.
When you get that information, just bring it back to us at the work session. We
Yeah.
can kind of discuss how that goes.
Will do. Thank you.
Kevin?
Well, I believe the clerk has some bids to open for our community crossings.
I do. Go ahead and start. Okay, I've got one that was received from Floyd Grimm and Sons Incorporated on January 8th at 1:40 p.m. If I can get it. And it is $116,634. And I have DC Construction Services It was received January 9th at 10:01 a.m. Let's see the page. $129,518.20. And Robertson Paving received January 9th at 12 p.m. And this one is $135,780. And this one is All-Star Paving, received January 9th at 1:40. And this one is $146,198.40.
I will ask that you take these bids under advisement, copies be sent to our engineering firm, our legal, as well as myself for review, to be brought back for a decision at a later meeting.
Okay, I would entertain a motion on that request.
So moved.
I have a motion by Josh. Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a second by Gary. Will you call the roll, please?
David Kate,
Aye.
Josh Tudor,
Aye.
Jack Bodeker,
Aye.
Gary Holbert,
Aye.
Dan Wondersen.
Aye. Motion carried. And if you will put that on work session.
That's all I got, unless you have anything for me.
Do you know about the quotes? Is that you? Okay. This is for 220 East Main Street project quotes.
Alright, you guys should have received the quotes in your packets for the new city building. We received several quotes for the renovations. The first one is, we've only got one in for the roof, which was through Chummel and Sons, for a total of $46,350. Then we have, for the inside construction or renovations, we have one from DB for $50,980. Robertson Builders for $13,150. CBR Services for $77,551. Andy Roberts Construction for $58,375. And then Greg Hill Construction for $65,500. After reviewing all of these, obviously Chummel and Sons would be the one we would pick for the roof. And then we would recommend have DB do the inside construction and renovation. And most of these quotes are only good for 30 days, so.
Can I ask a question?
Sure.
Why is Robertson Building, I mean, I just looked through their bid, why is it so low compared to the others?
That I couldn't tell you.
I think he only did the bathroom, that's what it looks like.
Yeah.
Bathrooms only?
That's what it looked like to me. I would recommend that we take these under advisement and have town attorney and Kevin go over these and then bring this back to the work session.
I'll make that motion.
Okay, got a motion for Jack on that.
I'll second.
Have a second by Josh. Will you call the roll, please?
David Tate,
Aye.
Josh Tudor,
Aye.
Jack Bodeker,
Aye.
Gary Holbert,
Aye.
Dan Wondersen.
Aye. Motion carried.
Want me to stay up here and do the other?
Yep.
Okay. So, last month we had a total of six code enforcements. We had 3 that we cleared without enforcement and 1 with enforcement, and there is still 1 open. And then we had 9 permits for a total of $517. And then the only other thing I have is you guys should have received 2 proposals for the removal of 206 North Spruce Street. And one is from Cox Excavating for a total of $5,950. And the other one is from Bond Trucking and Excavating for $7,500.
Here again, I would entertain a motion to take these under advisement for the town attorney and Kevin to take a look at and bring back to at the work session.
So moved.
I have a motion by Gary. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
I have a second by David. Will you call the roll, please?
David Tate,
Aye.
Josh Tudor,
Aye.
Jack Bodeker,
Aye.
Gary Holbert,
Aye.
Dan Wondersen.
Aye. Motion carried.
That's all. Thank
All
you.
right, thank you. Next item, Comcast.
Hello, everyone. You guys should have a packet in front of you. Comcast is placing a bid for citywide private fiber dedicated for all city services and city buildings. The first few pages are proposed fiber routes that we're going to be looking at building to, and the numbers that you see there for the estimated job total, that's my cost, not yours. So Comcast will be absorbing all costs. There's approximately $97,000 in costs. Comcast will absorb that based on the monthly recurring costs that they would be looking to obtain for this particular project. We already have services, we already have a proposal in that's already being billed for the 220 East Main, so we have a fiber project already in place for that one. What we're looking at doing is adding the remaining facilities, the 204 East Main, which is this building. And we will be looking at putting that on a 300 megabit up and down fiber connection. The next one, the 5247 US Highway 40 Police Department, that one was 100 megabits up and down. That, apparently the body cameras may be an option for that when the high upload speeds and download speeds may become available for that. It just allows for that faster transfer up and down. Right now, the uploads have been an issue, I guess, apparently because right now there's coax in place today. And I'm not sure if it's body cameras or not yet. I think it's just more the bandwidth and all requirements total. And then the fire station, the remaining of them will be looking at 100 by 100 up and down. The fire station proposed route at 4099 National Road, and then the 414 South Morton Avenue. The 601 South Morton Water Department will also be looking at. And then 816 McMinn, the garage office. And there's another building on that facility which we can actually build to at the same time, which is the wastewater office. Looking at putting 2 fiber circuits there as well. We'll be combining those 2 builds because we do one, we can just pass the other and continue on as a lateral. And that's more or less the project overview, so you can kind of see the routes if we need to. We can, before we start any work or do anything, we actually put the full scope of work out for you. We can obtain city permits and everything along that line, whether it's aerial or underground, whichever is the most convenient. Or
How long do you anticipate it would take to put all this in place?
The constructions would take roughly 4 to 6 months to complete. The contract term is 60 months. We had 36 months approved, but we wanted to bring down the monthly reoccurring rate, so the longer the term, the lower we can bring our rate to based on the capital that we need to recoup for construction and everything along that line. So when we asked, we've got both options open, but this one was a little more cost effective.
Now, can citizens hook into this fiber, or is this strictly dedicated?
This is strictly dedicated for the cities. Now, you can have Wi-Fi options available for that if you want to give public access. It opens up kind of the opportunity for smart city technologies. Cameras for the the smart cameras, the police cameras along there. We can do parking assists, smart hubs. We blanketed cities with complete mesh Wi-Fi. Obviously, we don't need to go down that road at this time, that may be down the road, but it has the scalability to go to that level, so. The dedicated fiber basically is what it is. It's a fully scalable up to 100 gigabytes, so if you ever need to grow or we need to increase bandwidth, we can just tailor it to fit your needs based on whatever type of services you're looking to bring in that may require more bandwidth than what we have in place today or over the next 5 years. The crux of this is also, we're proposing SD-WAN, which is, in simple terms, a cybersecurity threat blocking anything along that line. It covers DDoS, or it covers botnet, malware, cyber attacks, hacking, anything along the line. And it's all cloud-based, so we don't need equipment on site to do this. So the nice thing about the SD-WAN service is that we don't have to purchase expensive equipment for this, whether it's firewalls, monthly or yearly renewal subscriptions to Cisco Meraki for their security systems or anything along that line. Comcast will do it. We give you all the licenses for it. It's all included in the monthly rate, unlimited services based on location. So it's there. The final price you see will include the total secure package, and it gives you we'll get to the fun little tidbits of that. We have the option, if you ever get down to it, which is called underlays, where we can add additional layers of connectivity, like a cellular backup or something along that. If fiber probably gets cut in an intersection or something along that line, obviously we probably look at moving that fiber first and foremost. But if there's a complicated issue, something along that line happens, we can actually add up to 4 layers of added protection that can be used as redundancy to this with the SD-WAN. It's already the piece of equipment that we put on site will automatically have the capabilities that's being built in. And we would actually manage that for you, so you wouldn't have to actually go find out your own bids. We have all partners as a option to bid for those additional services that don't necessarily have to be Comcast, so they'd be fully, truly redundancy. The wireless being our probably most popular. Basic. This can get really analytic, but overall, this is a build-to-bear security system. We can take it to as high level as you want to have application-specific programs used there. You can dedicate bandwidth, so you can add levels of highway to, I want this traffic to work on this much bandwidth, and I want this application to work on this much bandwidth, and you can allocate that bandwidth based on whatever you need. So whether if there's a pavilion Wi-Fi out there and you only want them to have 20 megs, and you're using the circuit for that, you can allocate 20 megs, and then the remaining megs can be used for the on-site facilities. So it has that option, and that's actually all built into the SD-WAN option to allocate that IP and give it its own bandwidth or give it its own path. We can also take that on the other level and we can say, we want these specific sites blocked, whether it's Skype or YouTube or anything along that line. So you can see the applications that are being used, how much bandwidth those are using on any given day, any given time, and how much they've used in total for the full month or the year. These analytics can kind of go as deep as you want them to be. Most people don't like to go down that rabbit hole very often, but it has that capability. So this is the high-end security and application product set to get down to really how deep you want your analytics to go on this. Overall, the main there has been a statistic, and I don't want to throw this out there for scaring anybody, but it's almost at a 60% rate that businesses and governments have been attacked over the course of last year, which is actually a pretty scary statistic. This covers the botnets, the malware, phishing, ransomware, inside threats, and we have options of which called denial of service, which is actually a growing threat these days. The DDoS, if you ever heard of the term DDoS. There was an issue with kids figuring out how to do this at schools, and it's the program they can almost download an app, and what it does is just throws a bunch of, I think it was ordering pizza, one person orders a big amount of pizza, and then he has 1,000 of his other friends call and order a bunch of pizza, and just congest the system. No one else can call in, no one else can order. That's what it is, and all it is, and think of this in a large scale of data. They're throwing data and terabytes of data at an internet and basically shutting it down. Comcast has the option to add what you call DDoS protection. In this case, I would recommend, if it ever happens, a one-time option, because we can actually add one-time options to block denial of service. There are monthly rates. If we find out one location ever gets attacked and happens again and it becomes a progressive issue, we can add that service as a monthly service option as a bolt-on if we need to look at cutting that off before it gets to be an issue. So those have probably been the big ones that we've been finding, actually more for cities and towns. The analytics that you see, it would probably be closer, looks like this page right here. This kind of gives you an example of what the inside portal looks like. Application usage, total network usage, top and bottom state. If an IT person will look at it, it's their second language and they go, this all makes sense to me. Most people look at it and say, why is this location using 6 terabytes of data, and what applications are using all that data, and do we need to look at adding something or allocating bandwidth specifically for that app that's being used the most there. So it kind of gives you that bird's eye view of what's being used. More security and intelligent notifications alerts. Everything wouldn't be, this wouldn't be complete without a cell phone app, which we have also. There are alerts and notifications, so you'll know if there's a site that goes down, whether it's equipment issue, jitter, latency, the fiber cut, you'll know, you'll get that notification, and actually Comcast will automatically dispatch techs out there we'll probably be able to see what it looks like, and if it's a fiber cut, we'll know, and we'll already have the tech dispatch out there to see if we can actually fix the fiber, which I have never come across a situation where we couldn't, but we would automatically dispatch us, and that's typically on our cost. If there's a cut fiber, and then we take the bull by the horns, and if a farmer got a little overzealous with the plow, got a little bit too much in the easement, which happened in Anderson 2-3 years ago, pulled out half the city fiber. That was a little costly mistake. It took, but we actually got 2,000 strands of fiber connected in about 8 hours. And to kind of get an idea of what that is soldering 2,000 individual connections, saying this one went to this specific location, this one went to this specific location, finding them and testing them on both sides, and then connecting them together. And it was definitely a break glass of emergency. The last page is the solution proposal. So you will see the breakdown of costs based on that. Centerville Town Hall, the municipal building being at 300 megs, and the remaining locations all the same price. The wastewater, the 816 McMinn Road, that was just when I talked to
Kevin.
thank you. Just a one-man wrecking ball crew out there that he said he didn't really use it that much, but obviously we wanted it on there. Is he here? Okay, just checking. But he had mentioned that, you know, we got one phone line and one we just have a standard internet connection. So Rich had said that if we want this on fiber, we want everything on fiber, so that we can manage it and monitor it, and if it ever needs to scale, we have that capability. So we put that on a 20 meg.
Now, Kevin, does your SCADA run through the internet?
Yes.
So that would help that too.
Yes.
Putting any type of fiber connection next to a coax connection is literally putting the Autobahn in parallel to an interstate, right? So low latency is the speed at which traffic travels over the internet. Coax is like going up and down hills, right? You can have high latency and low latency based on what time the kids get out of school and are streaming their gaming systems. Fiber, since we give you its own dedicated path, you can basically hit the ground running up to your speed at which your network requires. So in this case, it'd be 20 megs, which I'd put that against any 300 or 400 meg coax connection you did twice on Sunday, to be perfectly honest. So there are, those are some of the nutshell benefits to fiber over cable. And we can get into outages and noise on the line. You know, coax is copper, old copper. Copper in the ground, anything can affect it. Whether it's a hairdryer, washing machine, anything that can provide that electrical feedback that can actually cause interference, because since everybody's sharing it, it basically hits what you call a node. And when that node starts to get a bunch of interference, we either have to go up the outside and trap it and try to keep that jitter down on coax, or we have to cap it and turn it off, just so that if it keeps bringing down, because it'll bring down houses, it'll bring down services and everything else, whether it's for 5 minutes, 5 hours, depending on the severity. Usually 5 hours would be somebody hit a pole. But fiber doesn't have that issue. Since it's yours, it's dedicated. The only really way you have an outage is if there's a big power outage at our head end, which doesn't happen. But our SLA, which is our service level agreement that we have with you, guarantees 99.999949 of uptime service. And anything, if there was an outage that ever happened that took it beyond that scope, they actually start crediting you back money. So they give you credits automatically based on if there's a large cut. Like the Anderson cut cost someone a lot of money because we had to credit those services, and obviously that probably fell on whoever insurance provider was that took out that fiber. But just as an example of what that looks like. So the total monthly reoccurring cost was $49.10, which includes fiber, the monthly reoccurring rate for fiber, and the monthly reoccurring cost for the security and SD-WAN services for that. So that's all in the nutshell. One nice neat package, one bill at the $49.10. And as I put on here, there's zero construction contribution that we require and zero installation fee. And we're looking at the phone system as well, which isn't here because we haven't, once we get this in place, or once if this goes through, then we can start talking about phones. But this would effectively cut the current phone system bill in half, almost exactly. When we were doing the proposal, because fiber over, phone systems over fiber gives it that higher level call quality and clarity. And we give you a second connection. So if we give you a 100 meg connection for your phone system, no matter where it's at, specifically and solely for those phones. So it's a little more cost effective for us to actually run it that way too, because then we have less truck rolls and everything along that line. So that also has that guarantee.
And that will feed all these other buildings?
Yes, yeah. We have, in a nutshell, we would actually run 8 additional fiber circuits, no cost. We just basically add it to the, what we call a Sienna switch that we put on site. We run another piece of fiber from that, and that's completely segregated from your data network here. So if we give you a 1,000 meg connection at your town hall, and we put 1,000 phones in there, those 1,000 phones don't touch that 1,000 meg connection. Right, it's completely segregated. So it's a little more effective for us, and it's a benefit to you because then you don't have to worry about bandwidth allocation or anything along that line for our phone system, effectively also reducing the cost. So it's a win-win-win anyway for that phone system as well. And that's what I got.
Well, because Richard's not here, we'll take this under
Obviously,
advisement.
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
I want my yeses.
we'll put that on the work session too, so.
And we actually, we put board language in the agreement too, just in case that if we decide to move forward and there's additional questions that come, you're not obligated to the service until we get a full board agreement as well, so we don't.
Do you have information in case somebody comes up with a question and needs
I do,
to call you?
I can give you a stack of cards if that works.
Yeah, at least that way they come up with a question. they can
There
call.
always is questions, that's perfectly fine, and I've got, believe me, my technical knowledge is about a 6, 7. I've got engineers that'll talk up to 10s and 1s and 0s all day. I just sit in the corner and look pretty, because I don't tend to try to know everything about the whole intricacies.
Sure. We appreciate that.
Absolutely. All right, thank you for your time.
Street? Yeah. Water, fire? You got anything?
Well, we did have one main break last month, 4-inch main. We did get it repaired, the oil orders, everything went well with that. We're moving forward with the water main project and service line replacement. And that's about all I got underwater unless you have anything for me.
Fire?
I really don't have anything tonight, but like Ed, I want to thank everybody for helping out with the food drive. Along with my little incident, it kind of got us to thinking that maybe we need a backup person. So Phil Badel is my assistant chief, so me and him have been working together to kind of communicate, and things that I may not be able to get out to do, he's gonna take over or help out with. So he may be coming to some meetings depending on my appointment schedules. So I just wanted you to meet him, and he's got a couple of things here to talk about.
I appreciate everybody. This is going to be very, very brief. We just wanted to inform everybody that we did get the contract with the township signed, so that's all in place just like it is every year, so that's been accomplished. And with that, we have met a milestone this year that we haven't met in a long time, and that is we have a full roster. We have a full 25-member department right now, so we're really proud of that, and we're going to continue all the trainings that we've been doing to keep everybody and get these new people that we've got on in the last year or two up to speed in training. So that's something we haven't had in a very long time.
Thank you.
Okay. Wastewater, stormwater?
We did have a meeting today with Lockmuller and Legal on some issues with the rest area and the addition to the lift station, so we're moving forward with that. Probably midsummer, the rest area will be closed. It'll be a 2-year project, and what NDOT is wanting from us is to have our end of the project done at the lift station within the time frame that the rest area is closed. And we're working with Lockmuller on a short time frame right now, trying to make all of that happen. The project will be involved in be a year, maybe a little over to get completed, but we will do our best to meet the time frame that NDOT has on their closure. I believe you all have a copy of the proposed holiday trash schedule. Basically what I've done is just mirrored what the landfill has. Everything was either moved up or back a day, depending on when it fell. Most of the holidays fall on Monday, so it'd be moved to Tuesday pickup. I Just ask that you approve that so we can get it out in the monthly billing this month and get put on the website.
I'll make that motion that we approve that.
Okay, got a motion by Josh to approve that. Do I have a second?
A second.
Have a second by David. Call the roll, please.
David Kate,
Aye.
Josh Tudor,
Aye.
Jack Botter,
Aye.
Gary Holbert,
Aye.
Dan Wondersen.
Aye. Motion carried.
That's about all I got underwater, stormwater.
Electric?
We are working on the Indiana Resilience Grant to upgrade our 4 kV system. The 31st is the deadline for having that filed. We've contracted with Baker Tilly to assist us with some of the numbers and the grant itself. We hope by the 16th to be able to turn everything over to Baker Tilly to let them review, finalize, and get back to us so we can finalize and have it sent in on time. Now, this will be a 38% match on our end for the project. We feel we can come up with the funding to make this happen if we are awarded. And we've got to do something about the substation because it's so antiquated, parts are no longer available.
Yeah, we're just holding our breath right now.
Yeah. We're having some rolling outages over on Matty Harris as they complete the changeover there. So within the next week and a half, we should be full 12K over there on that. So the first phase of the project will be completed. We had no power outages last month. We're replacing poles on schedule, which I believe we've got 8 scheduled for the next 2 weeks to be replaced. And we're still working on numbers for transformers at the Antique Mall. I believe that's all I got under electric, unless you have anything for me. I will add the charging stations, holding about steady with its usage and income. As the weather changes and warms up, people start to move a little more, the numbers should go back up. So,
Clerk, you got anything?
Nope.
Okay, with that, make this one announcement. The work session will be on January the 30th, 2024 at 7 p.m. here in the council room. And with that, I would entertain a motion to close the town council meeting for January 9th, 2024.
So moved.
I have a motion by David. Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a second by Gary. Will you call the roll, please?
David Kate,
Aye.
Josh Tudor,
Aye.
Jack Botter,
Aye.
Gary Holbert,
Aye.
Dan Wondersen.
Aye. Motion carried, and we thank you for coming.